Hello, everyone. My name is Tayla. You may have seen me on the Facebook Live a couple of nights ago, and I am the Vice President for the Doula Association of Alberta. And this is
Hi, I'm Liz. I am the administrator for the Doula Association of Alberta, and I am a birth doula in Edmonton.
all right. So after the Facebook Live, it was evident that doulas in Alberta need maybe a little bit more information about the insurance piece. We have that as a requirement, and there were a lot of questions surrounding why we are requiring insurance to be a member of the association. And that's fair because quite often, especially when you're a new doula, or even when I took my doula course years ago, I was never taught anything about insurance. And some of you may have even been told that you don't need insurance. And that definitely is true. You don't need it to work as a doula independently. But we want to share why we feel that it's extremely important that we keep this included as part of the requirement to be a member of the association. And we hope that this kind of clears a few things up. And yeah, so Liz, if you want to share some details about the Prolink insurance, and there's a couple of key points that are on a document that are going to be put up on the website for you to read. But Liz is going to go over that now.
Yeah, so I'll just talk about what the insurance covers, things you might not even think about. Of course, as doulas, we want to have good relationships with our clients, but things happen, and sometimes it comes back, and they, or they need the money, or they've been suggested to do this. So things like lawsuits can come up, and even if you did nothing wrong, the financial burden of a lawsuit is huge, and so the insurance covers that. Things like slander is covered. Like if you're being slandered, the lawsuit for that is covered. If something happens to a client, or like their property's damaged from a birth pool, or you drop something, or there's a million things that can happen, that would be covered under your insurance as well. And yeah, both these things are covered for $1 million per claim, so it's quite high coverage. And what else is there? Yeah, so it's for your business and for like personal injury, or like injury to clients. So it's pretty comprehensive, which is great. And yeah.
Great. So like Liz was sharing, we don't need to necessarily think of all of the potential, things that could go wrong, but even just, worst case scenario, right? We all kind of know what that could possibly be. And we hope that none of us are ever in that situation, but the reality is that kind of thing can happen, right? And, it's to protect yourself. Like Liz was saying, that's the purpose of insurance. This isn't something that you're having just to say you have it. It's to actually have it there as a security, so that if something does go wrong. And I think a lot of people were concerned about the insurance piece kind of leading us down a path of regulation as doulas, and that is not the intent. Having insurance has nothing to do with the government. It has nothing to do with AHS. It has everything to do with us and our career and us protecting ourselves. And we've worked really hard on getting this insurance and the rate that we have. Like months and months and months of looking into all kinds of different insurance companies to see if we could come to them as a group, because that's what it is. We're coming to them as a collective group. So when I pay my insurance fee, it's not necessarily just for me, it's for you. As a group, we're all pitching in and paying money towards this insurance package, so that if one of us is in trouble, if one of us needs that support, it financially is there, and it pulls from everyone who has paid. So, we talk about the association unifying all of the doulas in Alberta, and we think of that in terms of building community and relationship and advocacy and education and learning and development in our careers, but also insurance piece is we're protecting each other. And that's what this insurance is. We're protecting each other if something were to ever go wrong, because like Liz mentioned, one thing goes wrong and you're sued, whether you were wrong or not, that could ruin your life. You could lose everything that you have. And that's a scary thought, and we want to provide that insurance for you. The other aspect to it, and this is kind of what I mentioned in the Facebook Live, is that we are hoping that this provincial group is going to bring this extra piece of professionalism to our careers. While we know how wonderful our job is and how good we are at our jobs and how important that job is, I don't think it's any secret there are some places that don't recognize that, right? There are some doctors, let's say, or care providers or whoever may not see the value in a doula or understand the value in having a doula. And, unfortunately, a part of that piece is the lack of organization and professionalism that's brought to this amazing, beautiful career. So we are hoping that the bonus of having this insurance is that it makes us look really organized, and not just makes us look, but we are organized, and that's going to help us move forward in the future with our career. And move forward, I don't know exactly what that means. That's something that as a collective group, we're going to have to decide. What do we want? Do we just want some recognition? Do we want to educate Alberta on what doulas are and the benefits of a doula? Because not everyone knows. And, we will be heard and given the chance to be heard if we come together as a professional, organized group. And that's just the truth. So that is the kind of icing on the cake of having insurance. But let's not forget that the main reason that we're offering this is so that we can, as a group, protect each other in case something were to ever go wrong. And so going back to what I initially said, where, you don't have to have insurance. That's correct. If you're ever told in a doula training, you don't need it, but you don't have to have it to work as an independent doula. Does that mean you shouldn't have it? No, not necessarily. I would encourage you to really think about it. If paying that amount of money per year is worth it to you and your business. And we do recognize that not everyone is going to want that for their business, and that is okay. But we are going to keep that as a requirement with membership. If money is an issue, we do plan on sponsoring a certain number of memberships per year. We just right now haven't come up with that number because right now Millie and I are just paying for everything out of our pocket, and we're doulas, so it's not like we make a ton of money. But in October, hopefully we'll have lots of members, and we can use some of the member fees to help pay for members who can't afford it, or people who want to become members and can't afford it. So please keep that in mind as well. Liz, is there anything extra you think we could add?
I did want to add that I saw a couple questions asking, like, is there something that lines out what we can and can't do? Because I don't want to buy it and then it end up not being covered. And so our standards of practice are what have been agreed on to be covered. And those are listed on the website. Specific things that aren't covered is obviously anything a midwife does. Rental or sale of birth pools, anything to do with placentas, like encapsulating, belly casting, and hypnotherapy, just for some specific ones. But if you are interested in, or if you like run a yoga business too, or personal training, please reach out, because we can put you right into contact with Prolink, and they offer these policies as well.
Yeah, like I've been a member with Prolink for years. So when I first became a doula, that's one of the very first things I did was reach out to Prolink to have insurance. And I do many things, and they insured me as a craniosacral therapist, as an IBCLC, as a doula, and they even insured me as a sleep consultant. So, yep. So they looked at all of that. I had to send them documentation and information. They approved it, and they gave me one package deal where I pay X amount per year. So it's a really great company, and we're hoping that you see the value in it because we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, hopefully this answers your questions about insurance, makes you feel a little more comfortable moving forward with paying that insurance portion. If you do have any more questions, you can reach out. We would be happy to answer anything, especially if we haven't thought of something. And we hope that this Saturday, everyone signs up and joins this collective group of amazing people.
Yeah, we're so excited.